Good evening. 10 years of discomfort caused by the Clyde Dam hasn't paid off for people in the town. After talks with senior electrical staff today, they say promises made 10 years ago have not been fulfilled. And as Michael Lynch reports, they're disappointed the dams to be unmanned with no access for the public.
The people of Clyde were never exactly overjoyed at the prospect of a great wall of water hanging over their town. And as filling date fast approaches, they're growing even more discontented. Electricorp, the dam's new owner, fronted up to the public for the first time in Clyde today, and the big crowd of locals didn't get much to satisfy them.
You've spent 1.4 million already on this area. I would suggest to you that this community is losing. The business houses alone are losing more than that each year.
Well, there was a pathetic attempt at planting some trees. Now, of those trees, there's not one survived.
But basically we said, will the town be better after the dam is built? And we were assured from ministers down that it would. It would be a better place to live. Now we've lost a lot.
There was a proper plan. The whole thing was on plan. It looked very nice. But at the present time, you can go out and see what it looks like.
The town feels it's suffered during 10 years of dam construction. The traffic bypasses them. Promises of better access are slow to materialise. And no one yet knows who'll own the new lakeshore, so little gets done. The dam's not going to be the promised tourist attraction. Electricorp doesn't want the public in it or across it. It confirmed today the dam would be unmanned, perhaps controlled electronically from Roxburgh. And now some locals are worried about what they see as their apparently growing danger of slips and the haste to have the lake filled.
It's just not possible to go ahead until such time as the absolute safety of the dam and the area surrounding the lake can be guaranteed.
So there's winners and losers there.
In balance, do you think Clyde's been a winner or a loser?
Well, I like Clyde like it is.
$1 million piece of equipment which can inspect blood vessels anywhere in the human body went into action at Dunedin Hospital today. The digital subtraction angiography machine is safer and cheaper than its forerunner and easier on the patient, Lee Davies reports.
The huge machines may look intimidating, but in fact digital subtraction angiography causes little discomfort to patients. It's used to check the arteries for narrowing, leaking and other problems. Dye is injected so the arteries can be clearly seen, but the amount is minute, and that means it's a quicker and safer procedure than it used to be. A conventional X-ray setup is linked into a television chain and computer, and gives an immediate view of what's going on inside the arteries. The image is electronically magnified, and the clear picture makes diagnosis easier. The $1.2 million machine and computer system has been housed in a newly renovated suite in the radiology department at the hospital.
Police and searchers were combing the Tautuku Peninsula today for any trace of the 3 boys who went missing there almost a fortnight ago. It's believed the boys were swept out to sea while checking fishing nets. As well as 70 searchers, a helicopter, a dinghy and 3-wheel motorbikes were used. Nothing was found and police called off the search at midday. The first New Zealand Writers' Week is being held in Dunedin. It opens tomorrow with a discussion on the great New Zealand novel by 3 of the country's best-known writers, Kerry Hume, Maurice Shadbolt and C.K. Stead. They're in the city at the invitation of playwright Roger Hall, who's organised the event.
The last few weeks have seen Roger Hall turning his attention from writing to organising. The Writers' Week he set up will bring 29 of the country's writers to the city. The job of organising it, he admits, has been hard work, and it's involved hundreds of phone calls.
Well, some book quite heavily, but at the moment there are seats at every session.
So far, the week of events looks set for success. The city and the university are acting as sponsors, and the lottery boards agreed to underwrite it. But Roger says there'll have to be at least 50% attendance at everything to make sure it breaks even. The week coincides with the 30th anniversary of the Burns Fellowship at Otago University. This display of works written by fellows over that period shows just how much it's contributed to New Zealand literature. Many of the writers who are coming to Dunedin are past fellows, and it no doubt helps that Roger knows most of them as well.
1 or 2 couldn't make it, but most of them I approached were only too pleased to come. They've got a great soft spot for Dunedin, and I think because the Burns Fellowship was the only writing fellowship in the country for many years, and people just like the place.
Among the big names who'll be coming are Kerry Hume, Sam Hunt, Dennis Glover, Patricia Grace, Morris Shadbolt, Fiona Kidman, and of course the organiser himself. Do you see it as continuing after this?
Well, if this one is successful, and I see no reason why it shouldn't be, I would like to think that we could do something like this every 2 years and make it permanently established.
That preview of New Zealand Writers' Week from Kathy Graham. A former top executive with the Queenstown Lakes District Council, who was sent to jail for 18 months for misappropriating public funds, has publicly said he's sorry. Richard Vallery's letter of apology was written from Invercargill Prison and is published in the Queenstown paper The Mountain Scene. Addressing the people of the district, Valery says, "You deserved much better, and I am truly sorry to have stolen from you. To all who had faith and trust in me, including my family and friends, special apologies for having let you down." Two towns, both claiming to be the trout fishing capitals of the world, are battling it out with rod and line. Gore in the south and Turangi in the north are aiming to settle, once and for all, which town has the best fishing. The challenge began in Gore at the crack of dawn. Mark Price was there.
It's just a tad chilly in Gore at dawn, but the river's clear and the weather's fine.
We're defending the name trout fishing capital of the world, which rightfully belongs in Turangi.
You think so, do you? Where is Turangi?
While radio in Gore and Taupo make the most of the fishing challenge, the fog begins to lift.
Yeah, the river's looking pretty good. It's not crystal clear, but it's you can still see good 2 or 3 feet into it, and no, it should be ideal actually.
Today, 2 Gore fly fishermen will hunt the brown trout in the spots they've fished for years. 2 fishermen from Turangi will be at their shoulder to keep them honest, and next month in Turangi, the reverse will apply.
You want a trace?
Try it. Hey, I put that in front of a Matera Brown, he'll run for 10 miles.
It all started when Gore built its trout statue and laid claim to being the trout fishing capital of the world. That claim has been modified, and now Gore is happy to call itself the brown trout capital, leaving Turangi the opportunity to make similar claims about rainbow trout. It was all a bit of fun, a good excuse for some fishing, but behind it, of course, was the promotional angle, in particular Gore's desire to get more visiting fishermen.
It can only do a lot of good in the end. The more fishermen come here, the more pressures we'll be able to put on to keep our river anti-polluted. It's changing, the river's changing every year, mainly with runoffs from farms and different things, and we've got to be very careful of it, be more conscious of the fact and look after it. In the long run, it could be one of the better money spinners for a place like Gore.
Size, number and condition all come into the judging. Tonight, a television news crew will be judging the taste.
Another arduous task for the team. That's the programme for this week at our new time slot. We'll be back with you on Monday at the very same time. Have a great weekend. Good night.